Okay, so I'm going to make this to help people who want to add new emblems to yeah, that's a tongue twister, Europa Universalis 4 in the Nation Designer, because I was very, unsettled that there weren't that, unsettled is the right word, but I was upset that there were so few options. And so, I'm going to show you how to do it. And this, by the way, this can be extrapolated to, this can be extrapolated to CK2 if you want to add new features to the portraits. I've done this by adding new beards and hairstyles to various ethnicities. But what you want to do, first make a mod backup folder if you haven't done that already. At the beginning of this, I'll explain how to make a mod, just for the people who don't know. But the way that I like to keep track of it, make a mod backup folder, make a folder for the game itself. Inside that, make folders for each mod. So you're going to want to make a folder with the name of the mod, and then make a text document, a new text document. Call it the exact same name for easy to find purposes, and then just change the .txt to .mod. Then you'll want to open this up in a text editor, which I could suggest Sublime Text or Atom. I wouldn't recommend Notepad++, just because I have a problem with the guy who designed it. He's a selfish jerk, apparently. But I can recommend Sublime Text and Atom. Both of those are perfectly fine, but I use Notepad just because I like the light-colored user interface. Now, you want to add this in, which is the name that will appear in the launcher, in the EU4 launcher when you're selecting the mod. Then you add this with the mod path that this folder is in your My Documents Paradox folder, and then you have the name of the modded folder itself, and that can be a .rar, .zip, or just the folder. This is really only if you're going to upload it to the Steam Workshop, which I have not done and I don't intend to. And then the supported version, is... Make sure you put this in or else the game won't read it. However, with the new update to 1.14, the game allows you to activate outdated mods anyway, so I guess it doesn't particularly matter anymore, but just in case, make sure that number reads whatever version this is. And it doesn't matter if they update the game. You don't need to update a mod like this. It's not too intensive. So the files you'll want to get are in the GFX interface folder in your Steam library. Comin, Europa Universalis 4, so go to GFX, and then interface. And then go down until you find these, client state symbols. Okay, so copy these into here, recreate the folder structure, so GFX, interface, and then put them in there. Now, go back and create an interface folder, and then I'll copy and paste the exact file structure you need. I'll provide a link to it. But you'll want to get this, and so I'll give you the link to that. But save it for later, because what you'll want to change is this number, based on how many things you add, how many new emblems you add. But that comes later. The next thing you want to do is you want to find... Now, I use the Nation Designer Extended, so I've modified that mod to work with this one, because this conflicts. So I just use them both in conjunction, and I would recommend that because Nation Designer Extended is fantastic. But if you don't want it, all you need to do is get this file. It's custom country colors. Okay, so you want to go to Common, custom country colors, and then get this, because you'll also want to change this to match. Mine's changed to 44 to go with the number that I have. So the rest of that doesn't matter, but that is very important because it took me forever to find out why I wasn't getting all the emblems in game even after I had edited this. I was like, I put 44 there, why isn't it allowing me to get more than 32? Well, it was because there was another file, and I was just lucky to find it. So either way, once all those are copied into their own folder, so yeah, make a common custom country colors folder designation if you want it in the same mod. I would still recommend using the Nation Designer extension. Either way, now that that's done, go to the large one, open that up in Photoshop, or whatever you use, but I'm going to use Photoshop, because it's the only one I know how to. I don't use Psy or GIMP or whatever. I don't even know if they have the same features as this. Because the most difficult part here is the alpha channel. Everything else is easy. However, Photoshop has a quick and easy way to get around the alpha channel. So anyway, I'm going to add the heartless emblem to the lineup here. Now, each of these little emblems on the large .dds file are 64 by 64. So the way I do this is actually, I'm going to close out of this and open up, oops, and open up my, excuse me, thank you, PSD file I did. Because this is the way I do it. I make a new layer, and then make a new document. Oops. Thank you. And make it 64 by 64. Then just color this whatever you want. Oops. And then drag it down. So now you've got a square. Then make another one, a different color. Something more vibrantly different. And move this one down. So now you have this repeating tile set that you can use to determine what is what. You can just copy this, move it over, so on and so forth, until you fill it out. And that's pretty much what I've done with these. And so every time I increase it, I move these over. I make a copy of it and move them over. So I'm going to actually do that now. Make a copy. And if you want to increase it, just get a calculator. Like I'm going to use Google. You go to Image, Canvas Size. I'll bring up this little dialog box. Click this to make sure it doesn't extend. Oops. Extend to the left. You want it to only extend to the right. Then change that to pixels, and right now we're at 2816 by 64. So you want to keep the 64, and since I'm only adding two new symbols, the Heartless emblem and an adaptation of the Sterling family heraldry symbol, so my own family's heraldry symbol, we would just add 64 twice to this, which would be 2944. And then, okay. So there we go. Actually, I should do that. Oops. I'm just gonna... There we go. Alright. So now I'll take the copied thing that I did and just slide it over. There we go. Oops. I just like to make sure, same reason why I save frantically, I'm just paranoid when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so now we'll take this emblem and we will change its size down to, I want its height to be less than 64, because I want it to be small enough. So I'll make it 55 perhaps, let's try that. So I drag it over here. There, and I'm actually going to move you up and move you up so I know where the breaks are. Now, the good part about these squares is you can adjust it as you see fit. Now, the thing is, for some reason Europa Universalis has a problem with perfectly aligning the emblems to the thing, so I'm going to put it one little tick to the left. Now the next step comes with creating the alpha channel for it. So just Control All, Control A to select all. Go to Channels. First press Control C, then press New Channel, then Control V. Now take this and just paste it in. There we go. The good thing about Control A is that it keeps the transparency, unlike normal just marquee tools. And it's incredibly useful when you're doing facial hair or head hair, just any type of hair because of strands, and anything that you want to maintain its transparent features. So that's the good thing about using Photoshop here. Now first of all, before we copy over the alpha channel, I just need to make sure I select the alpha channel here. I'll turn that back on. Now make sure you Control A, oops, not Control S, make sure you Control A on this, and then click and drag it. And it will copy the... that seems right. It will copy the alpha channel perfectly onto the alpha channel that's already there. If you don't Control A it, if you don't select it first, then it will copy it onto a new alpha channel layer, and you can't really combine alpha channels. So it's worth it to Control A it. Anyway, so that's it. That's the whole process for creating this. I'm just going to do the same to this, and then I'll be back. Okay, there we go. So now I have the two new emblems added. I'll just save that, and I'll DDS it and save it again. So to make it easy for myself, I'm going to open up the large again. Now I have to look at what the height is on these, so that's 16. So to replace each of those, I just easily resize everything. 16. I can save that. Go back. See what the next one is. 40. Back. See what the next one is. 20. Next one is 32. Whoa! 32. There we go. And then the final one is 12. Oops. Oh, there we go. Alright. So that's that. Now you've got each of these with their new emblems. Now you want to go back to the interface, go to this file that you created, and change, just like Control F, replace all, which would be 32, now with 34 if you added 2 new, or however many you added, just add that to this number. Find what, 32, replace with whatever you added to. So now I'm going to do every 44s and replace it with 46. Oops, actually just replace all 18 occurrences, because there are 18 occurrences, so if you see that, then you're right. now I'll go back out to Nation Designer Unlimited, go to Comin, Custom Country Colors, and do the same for this. 44 to 46. And there we go. That's it. I just put these in your mod folder. And I'll go ahead and do that. Mod, and then I'll just go ahead and get rid of both of these. And put them back in. I could just replace the individual file, but I didn't think of that in time. Oops. Oops. And there we go. Now we'll get in the game and see if it worked. Alright, so now we see if it worked. Let's make a custom nation here. Come on. There we go. You shall be... Huang. Whoops. Mongese. Alrighty. So that's... let's see. And there we go, 46. So let's go over to him. There we go, Heartless Emblem, and Sterling Crest, which you can see if I change the color. Oops. There we go. Alright, so that's how you do it. And this will appear in each of the little emblems and such, apart from flags on the map itself. And yeah. So that's it.